We are in the hot ski area today, and the avalanche danger level is 3. East-facing slopes are particularly affected. The problem is a weak layer in the old snow. We plan to ski this off-piste route. The slope is steeper than 35 degrees. The key question is it safe to ski here or not? That's what we're going to assess now. To do this, we use the Systematic Snowcover Diagnosis (SSD). I developed the Systematic Snowcover Diagnosis in 1996 and introduced it to the Bavarian Avalanche Commission training in 1998. The Systematic Snowcover Diagnosis consists of several tools. Today, I will present 2 of them: the small block test and how to interpret its results. This test helps us determine under what additional load the slope might be triggered. With the small block test, we identify weak layers, analyze and assess the snow slab above them. The small block test has dimensions of approx. 30 x 30 to 40 x 40 cm. In soft snow it is usually around 30 x 30 cm, while in hard snow it can be 40 x 40 cm. The block should not be larger, as it would become too heavy and difficult to tap properly. Now we check for weak layers using 3 levels of tapping force. We start with light tapping. If no fracture is produced, we increase to moderate tapping. And if no fracture is created again, we increase to strong tapping. We apply force from the side, tapping from top to bottom, and observe what happens. First, we start with light tapping. No fracture occurs. Next, we increase to moderate tapping. Now we see a fracture. This tells us there is a weak layer present. Now we need to determine whether this weak layer poses a real danger. Can we drive into the slope even though we have avalanche danger level 3? Now we have 2 assessment methods. First, the simplified snowcover diagnosis, and second, the systematic snowcover diagnosis, a professional tool. The simplified snowcover diagnosis (SSD) is easy to learn, even for beginners. It quickly helps assess whether the snowpack is stable or unstable. In this method, different fracture characteristics indicate stability. Unstable means when a smooth fracture with light tapping suggests high instability, avalanche risk is high. A stepped fracture by light tapping or a smooth fracture by strong tapping suggests more stability. It is difficult to trigger an avalanche, only by high additional load. If you have the combination of strong tapping and stepped break, then an avalanche triggering is unlikely. If no weak layer is present, then no slab can be triggered. What did we observe? We found a stepped fracture here with several moderate tapping. By definition, this means first, no natural slab avalanches are expected. Second, individual skiers are unlikely to trigger a slab avalanche. Third, a slab avalanche might only be triggered by a large additional load. However, one test alone is not enough. We now take the second step and analyze the results using the Systematic Snowcover Diagnosis. The Systematic Snowcover Diagnosis considers 4 negative factors. First, smooth plane fracture with light tapping breaks easily. Second, soft overlying layer. Third, thin weak layer with large crystals. Fourth, weak layer within the top 1 meter of the snow cover. If all 4 factors are present, the probability of a skier-triggered avalanche is nearly 100%. A useful memory aid is ESD1 and symbolizes the 4 unfavorable characteristics. This means easy stability test 1. First, weak layer breaks easy and smooth fracture right arrow E. Second, overlying layer is soft right arrow S soft. Third, weak layer is thin and has large crystals right arrow T thin and large crystals. 4. Weak layer is within 1 meter right arrow 1 within 1 meter. Now, let's evaluate our test results. Did we observe a smooth fracture with light tapping? No. We had a stepped fracture with moderate tapping. Is the overlying layer soft? Partly there is some soft snow, but the top layer is hard and load-bearing, which is a positive stability factor. Is the weak layer thin with large crystals? No. Weak layer is thin, but the crystals are smaller 1 millimeter. We only observed 1 negative factor. The weak layer is within the top meter. Now, only 1 property is negative within 1 meter. What does this mean for avalanche risk? Moderate tapping was needed to cause a fracture, meaning the layers are well bonded. And an initial fracture is difficult to trigger. The fracture was stepped, meaning it does not propagate easily. The overlying layer is hard, distributing a skier's load across a larger area, reducing the chance of triggering a fracture. Das heißt, diese Schicht dort unten ist durch diese Schicht hier geschützt und dass man von Haus aus schon keinen Bruch erzeugen kann bei geringer Zusatzbelastung. Vielleicht, wenn man einen Sturz macht oder wenn man zu Fuß geht, dass man ihm eventuell einbricht. The weak layer is thin with small crystals, meaning it has many contact points, reducing collapse potential. Kleine Kristalle, das heißt, man hat sehr viele Berührungspunkte, es gibt nur wenig Möglichkeit, dass eine Schicht. The weak layer is within the top meter, but overall, the conditions remain favorable. Hier könnte man eben noch sagen, von der Tiefe der Schwachschicht her könnte man ein Schneebrett auslösen. Aber insgesamt haben wir überwiegend günstige. Conclusion: no natural avalanches expected. No avalanches triggered by small additional loads. No avalanches expected with large additional loads. Based on this test, this slope is unlikely to be triggered by a skier. However, we must always confirm results with a second test. Anyone can learn the small block test and how to interpret it. It doesn't require expert knowledge. However, proper training is essential to ensure accurate assessments. Once trained, it's important to repeat the test regularly, especially in safe conditions. This helps build experience and understand what stable snow looks like. Dangerous situations can often be identified easily. For example, a smooth fracture with light tapping is an obvious warning sign. If you observe this, avoid slopes steeper than 30 degrees or reconsider your route entirely. As you've seen, both beginners and experts can learn to assess individual slopes. I would love to meet some of you in an avalanche training course. Because one thing is clear, without training, it is impossible to properly evaluate a slope. I wish you all the best, have fun in the backcountry, and, most importantly, stay safe from avalanches.